Hello and welcome to the Sound Design Showdown Grand Final. Very excited. We have come to the end of this tournament, and today we'll find out who's gonna take away the grand prize, which is sponsored by Boom Library, and we have 3 copies of Boom 1 to give away. Lewis, do you want to tell us a little bit about Boom 1?
I can tell you about Boom 1. I use it every single day. Specifically, this is a buyer to Boom 1, so what we'll be giving you will be able to own and use forever. It's just a freaking huge library of just top quality sound effects. For all of your sound design needs, and you can use them in all the projects you're working on. I use it every day. Greg uses it every day. The 3 previous winners of Sound Design Showdown, they use it every day since. So this is a really amazing prize for some sound designers. And to the 3 winners of this competition, I think you're going to really enjoy it. I can't believe, Greg, we've narrowed it down from 81 teams. That's what, 254 sound designers, I think, have entered. There's only 9 left, only 3 teams left. It's been a really brutal competition. So many amazing submissions. So many amazing teams have been, knocked out early. But that is the Sound Design Showdown. It is a brutal competition. And yes, we made it to the final, and I'm very excited to see what our teams have to offer. Who are the teams again, Greg? Let's have a look at them.
The teams are Team CRT. We do our sound design on A-Track, and we have Cecilia Garcia, Rena Lau, and Tan Tran. Lewis.
Next team is the Fellowship of the Ring Modulator, which I know is a fan favorite in terms of the team name. Their slogan is, "A sound designer is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to." And this is a team formed of Pietro, Vincenzo, and Andrea. Some long-time Everglades here, so they've been around. They know what we like, and clearly they know how to make some good sound design by making it all the way to this final.
And lastly, we have Terrari with the slogan, "Tarari tarara." Maybe.
I didn't know you spoke this language fluently, Greg.
Beautiful. And the members are Jonah, Mattia, and Sylvia. Right?
These 3 sound designers, 9 sound designers even. Again, whatever happens in the next maybe 20 minutes whilst we're reviewing the final entries, give yourselves a huge pat on the back for getting this far. There's been some incredible entries, and then there's been some incredible entries that have not made it through this far. So to be this consistent, doing this much amazing work week after week after week, I appreciate it's been a very intense 3 or 4 weeks now for all of the finalists. You've all done amazingly to get here, and I'm very sorry we don't have any 2nd or 3rd place prizes, but we only care about the winners, Greg, don't we?
Indeed. So we want to do a little trip down memory lane and find out how our teams actually got here. So let's start with Team CRT, with the first prompt being 4 animals in a barbershop quartet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Furious 4.
That was the very first prompt we heard the entire showdown, because Team CRT was the first team in the bracket, and they started off really strong. Got the whole competition off to a good start.
The second prompt was, a man gets eaten by an airport piano.
Your flight has departed.
In my opinion, that there is when CRT went from... I always knew there'd be a good team because I know a couple of people on the team, and I knew it was going to be good. But that prompt and that submission made me think, you know what, this team, they could go all the way, Greg. It could happen.
Indeed. And they did. And the entry that got them into the final was a dramatic scene ruined by a Wilhelmskreuz.
Wait, did one of the wolves just do a whalehound scream?
Fantastic.
Yes, very, very cool. That's a good, like, almost minute of sound design there, which again, very impressive considering the tight deadlines. Everyone's very busy, and so to be able to churn out this much sound design to that level, very impressive. And Greg, a very worthy finalist. I'm excited to see what they've cooked up for the final.
Me too. Team 2, the Fellowship of the Ring Modulator. How did they get here?
Oh, now this one, the fastest snail in the world. This entry by this team was probably one of my favorite prompts in the entire competition. It was certainly my favorite entry in the first round. Let's take a listen.
Hey. Ooh.
All that in 10 seconds. And what a story. It stuck with me, and I remembered it the entire week. I was thinking about it.
Absolutely brilliant. Same here. And then we had a fairground ride that people don't ride twice.
All right, kids, have fun!
Houston, we found them.
A roller coaster that launches people into space? What more could you possibly want?
This was brilliant. Lastly, we have what really happened at the moon landing.
This is one small step for... What the hell?
Neil! Alright everyone, we lost them. Prepare the movie set.
No, Craig, that has some great sound design in it. I don't know what I expected, but it sounded great.
It definitely did.
Again, I think this team, so far has really, they've got the perfect balance of nailing the prompt with enough kind of like bit of voice acting, exposition and stuff to kind of like really sell what they're trying to tell with each story, but paired with just really tight, high quality sound design, and it's just made 3 fantastic entries. Will we get a 4th?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. Lastly, we've got Team Terrari, and their first prompt was a vending machine that takes a bite of your food before giving it to you. I love this prompt. This was so fun to listen to the entries. Let's hear.
Sorry, I have to taste it.
An extremely difficult prompt there, especially in only 10 seconds. But again, fantastic sound design carried. The biting and the eating at the end sounded so both funny and also, I want to say realistic. That's not the right word because this isn't a realistic prompt at all, but it just feels correct. And yeah, they followed up with another great submission.
Yep, and that was a pinball machine with an extremely high production value.
They really took us all on a journey with that one, with some insane sound design, some insane panning, your head spinning listening to it. And you're thinking, that was so good, where can they possibly go from here? And then they got dealt, in my opinion, the hardest prompt in the entire competition, which is a musical performance of a previously unheard of new instrument. And this is what they gave us.
Beautiful.
Now, Now, dare I say it, Greg, so far, I think Team Terrari might have had the best, just pure sound design in the competition so far. I think listening to those three back to back as well, and now I'm connecting them as like, oh, those are all the same team. Honestly, three incredible pieces of sound design, and really sound design led prompts and submissions as well. Like lots of the teams submitted, lots of voice acting, lots of music, lots of exposition to guide us as to what the prompt is. But Team Terraria, with those last two prompts in particular, with the pinball machine and the instrument, they didn't need to have voiceover and all this other stuff telling you what was going on. They just freaking did it with some great sound design. And honestly, I think I dare I say it, my favorites for the final before listening to the submissions. So amazing work to Team Terrari.
Some very high praise from Lewis. And we actually had a question in the chat from Vincenzo. Curious to hear how you came up with these prompts.
Yes, well, all of us at the Evergles team chipped in, some more than others. But basically, we were just kind of thinking of short and funny kind of mismatches of different things. Like I'm trying to picture. Well, when I was thinking of the prompts, I was trying to picture things that could be taken in a few different ways because we didn't want the three teams to submit the exact same thing for each submission. So we wanted to have a little bit of ambiguity. That's the word. We wanted people to be able to be creative with it, and then typically it follows a formula for the most part of just like taking two things that sound cool and fusing them together into just a new thing, like the F1 car going off a ski jump, or a piano that eats people, just like taking two normal things and fusing them into one. And I have to say, I'm really happy with our prompt selection this year because it's led to some amazing submissions, and I found it extremely fun on a personal level to just listen to what everyone's been creating as well.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we are now at the exciting part, so let's get started.
For those who are just tuning in or maybe forgot, if you forgot and you're a person who entered, I'm very surprised. But the prompt for this week, for the final prompt of the entire competition was the butterfly effect in action. How you want to take that is completely up to the teams in the final, but that was a prompt. And again, the time limit was extended to 1 entire minute. There was no requirement to hit the entire minute, which I did specify to all the teams, but they basically all did anyway. So again, in terms of just pure quantity and the work gone into everything, amazing work from all 9 of you sound designers, because this was no small feat for a week's work. Let's get started with Team CRT, the very first team to be played in the Sounders Showdown. They made it all the way to the final. What do they have for us?
The butterfly effect in action. Let's go.
Well, have you taken your antihistamines yet? You don't want to tear your wings out sneezing. Can you shut up? I'm watching the World Cup soccer final FIFA whatchamacallit. Plus 6 minutes now. It's all square with little time left. Oh my word, there's a huge gust of wind. A tornado's picked up the ball. And it's blown into the American net. England has won it. After 61 years of hurt, the World Cup is finally... Did I just do that? God damn it.
Okay. What a submission. What a journey we've just been taking on. When teams submitted their prompts this year, I gave them the chance to have an optional bit of dialogue they can just let us know as well. And so for Team CRT, I will quote from Rena. The commentator was initially human and talking in a normal voice, but whilst building the stadium atmosphere, they accidentally put a pitch informant shifter on the commentator track. It sounded like one of the butterfly characters. So we thought, I guess butterflies would watch their own butterfly TV broadcast, and so we kept this happy accident. And finally, they made good on their CRT name. It's quite clever, actually, because CRT is obviously the initials of the 3 team members, plus it's a CRT as well. So yes, I mean, to be honest, when I first thought of Butterfly Effect in action, one of my initial thoughts was, something tiny like, affecting like a major sporting event. So the butterfly. I'm not a fan, but you called it soccer to clarify, but I'll look past it for the sake of our international audience. The fact we affected a sports final with just a butterfly sneeze, I liked it. It was a great story. It was neat, tidy. I could most just about follow what was happening. Yeah, huge props.
It's because they're American, Lewis.
No, they're not all American.
No, I mean I think the butterflies are American.
The butterflies are American, sure.
Oh, that was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. I loved all the small details, the transition from the stadium into the TV with the VO switching and becoming TV diegetic processed. So many cool little things. All the whooshing in the transition where we have the butterfly effect in action and we hear all of these little things. The stadium ambience with the musical elements, just really, really cool stuff. Loved all the details.
Yeah, fantastic entry. Before we dive too much into it, let's move on to the second entry. The Fellowship of the Ring Modulator. Pietro, Vincenzo, and Andrea have been submitting some fantastic work for Showdown. We'll do it a fourth time. Let's find out.
Mind the pork!
Who throws food at me? Take this!
Son! Somebody calls an ambulance! He's choking on a Brussels sprout!
My condolences, Senator.
Thanks, James, but it doesn't end here, I swear. From this moment on, all the vegetables in the country will be banned, and everyone caught eating them will be punished by law.
1021 and 24 Main Street.
Target spotted.
Go, go, go! We're on the Matrix! We're on the Matrix!
Gout epidemic hits critical levels following the ban on vegetables. The nation faces a total healthcare collapse.
I'm speechless.
Incredible. They've done it again, Greg. 4 amazing entries in a row. Yeah, so again, fantastic entry. I loved the idea of a single dropping fork can send the entire nation into a health crisis.
Also, was that Arnie?
It sounded like it. It sounded like I was watching the Simpsons movie. Again, we have a little bit of a few sentences from the team who submitted. They said, we tried to hide a few Easter eggs, such as a kazoo and a Wilhelm scream from previous prompts of the tournament. And we voice acted in an intended cartoonish way. The news music at the end was also original. I like how they specified the cartoonish voice acting was intentional, in case you thought they were trying to be serious with these Arnie president impressions. Yeah, amazing work. Really, really cool. And you know what? Very clear what was happening, in my opinion.
Yeah, really clear.
Which is difficult to get across.
So many switches in terms of the scenery. Really good build-up of the story in terms of the separate chapters and how they transform. It doesn't feel too cut off, but it also doesn't bleed into each other too much. It's a beautiful blend of moving from one to the next. Spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's 2 of 3 finalists. The bar's been set pretty high so far. Team Terrari, my favourite for the competition, based on previous entries. Let's see what they have to offer.
I'm sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. I quit.
Incredible.
I have to say, I really appreciate the kind of whistle stop tour of all of their previous prompts in one. Maybe if someone's just tuned into just this episode of the Sounds on Showdown, they might not understand what's just happened there. But Team Terrari's 3 prompts started with a vending machine who took bites of food. They went on to a extremely high production pinball machine and ended with a musical performance of a new instrument. And they've very cleverly tied the 3 of those together. And those are 3 quite difficult subjects to tie together into 1 minute. And so the plot there of a vending machine, quitting, walking to the stadium, I'm assuming getting like launched into the ocean, and then playing something to do with a musical instrument at the end. Very impressive how they've tied it all together. What do you think,
that was
Greg?
super fun. I really enjoyed that, and yeah, like a fun little journey through the different prompts with a good throwback on everything, and obviously fantastic sound design, so top notch.
Okay, so time to make our decision. Well, I think first we'll revisit them and just talk about them some more. Really make sure we're making the right decision. The way it's going to work, folks, is I'm going to vote for my favorite, Greg's going to vote for his favorite. If they're the same, then they will win. If they are different, then we'll go to a public vote, and then the audience will decide who wins. But we're not sure just yet.
Yeah.
Who we like the best. So just to remind ourselves, Greg, the judging criteria we specified was creativity, production value, respecting the prompt, and another one which I've forgotten, which I should check. I left it somewhere. Give me a second.
Storytelling?
Yes, that was it. I knew there was one obvious one.
There we go.
Okay, well, let's go with just pure production value for now. So the sound design production value, how do you rate each one?
Well, I think all of them are incredibly high production value. I think in terms of pure sound design, I would probably say the Fellowship of the Ring has the edge.
Yeah, I think for me, just sound design wise, it's between Fellowship of the Ring Modulator and also Terrari. I think there's some very cool sounds in that. Admittedly, sounds taken from previous rounds. I don't know how much is reused versus redesigned from the ground up, but some very cool impacts, some amazing synth work at the end, or vocoder work at the end. To me, I think production value would lean towards Terrari, but that's not the only thing we're judging on. Creativity, Greg, what do you think?
Again, very difficult. I mean, I think all of them are very creative. I really enjoyed CRT's one in terms of the way that it had a pretty interesting story that was kind of started in one place, went all the way somewhere else around the world, and then went all the way back into that place. Again, I thought that was really cool. The same though, Fellowship of the Ring, also incredible story with full arc, and Terrari as well, just like a great throwback to then it's like, okay, the machine doesn't want to do this anymore, and it goes. So it's difficult. I think I'm very torn on this one. With creativity, I think every single one has different I guess, like standout moments in terms of creativity. I think this one though for me is between CRT and Fellowship of the Ring, simply because it's new.
I agree, and you kind of touched on the storytelling aspect. So storytelling was about other criteria, as you very kindly reminded me. I think for me, storytelling also goes to both CRT and Fellowship of the Ring Modulator. I think obviously it's easy to say there's better storytelling when there is kind of like voice acting and everything, driving a story and a plot they're trying to get across in a minute. But it's not just the fact they kind of added the voice acting and stuff. Like I really enjoyed, especially in the team 2, the Ring Modulator team, like the amount of different like locations, the funeral scenes, the news music. Like there's a lot of quick fire places and locations and emotions they're trying to get across. Again, with like 5 seconds each, and they did it really well. Same with CRT, like a whole journey across the world, the kind of the TV, the voices, really nice. The sound design into Rise Entry is amazing. I wouldn't say I particularly understood the story. It felt like a chain of things happening, which sounded amazing. And I guess I could tell roughly what was going on, but I think I might have maybe missed something towards the second half. And then the last one was respecting the prompt.
I mean, probably again like the edge on CRT and Fellowship, simply because I think I don't quite understand the cause and effect as much of the last one in terms of the story. I think it's very clear. In CRT's one, it's very much spelled out of like the obviously, oh, did I do this? And then with the Fellowship, it's a bit more subtle is the wrong word, but it's a little bit more like, oh, this happens and therefore this and that happens. So
yeah, certainly CRT essentially felt a bit more like a Rube Goldberg machine. Not a bad thing, how it was like literally this thing has directly caused this thing to happen, whereas Fellowship had a few more indirect things happening, which I think is still definitely respecting from just in a different way to the first team. And again, maybe a criticism team to Rise. It's like it felt more like just a journey of a character as opposed to this thing happened because this thing happened because this thing happened, starting small, getting bigger.
Yeah.
Well, before we make any decisions, let's hear them all again, just through to the end. Let's have one last listen to these three amazing entries.
We'll start with Team CRT.
You don't want to tear your wings out sneezing. Can you shut up? I'm watching the World Cup soccer final FIFA whatchamacallit. 90 plus 6 minutes now. It's all square with little time left. Oh my word, there's a huge gust of wind. A tornado's picked up the ball. And it's blown into the American net. England has won it. After 61 years of hurt, the World Cup is finally home. Did I just do that? God damn it.
I like the literal take on it as well, because obviously the butterfly effect doesn't necessarily have to feature butterflies, but the fact this one that does, and the fact it's a butterfly sneeze that becomes into this huge tornado. I also appreciate the cows being picked up, by the way, that I heard in the background then, like in one of our previous prompts. It's kind of like a literal, but like it's so literal, it's creative way of looking at the butterfly effect, which I do appreciate.
And I think like I heard either a slot machine or I'm assuming a pinball machine and things like that. There were loads of little fun things as we're going along. Just beautiful sound design, really, really nice journey and transitions. I think again with this one, it's like I can close my eyes. I don't even have to close my eyes, but I can imagine the whole thing really, really vividly in terms of how it looks. And comedy as well, top notch with the antihistamines and all of that. Just brilliant.
It's a nice throwback, isn't it? You know, like it's a bit of foreshadowing within the first 5 seconds. It's not just a butterfly sneezing. You warn it telegraphs it, and then they do it. And so it's a very neatly organized 1 minute. It's a tight script.
It is.
I appreciate.
All right.
Let's to Team 2 again.
Moving on to the Fellowship of the Ring Modulator.
Mind the pork!
Who throws food at me? Take this!
Son! Somebody calls an ambulance! He's choking on a Brussels sprout!
My condolences, Senator.
Thanks, James, but it doesn't end here, I swear. From this moment on, all the vegetables in the country will be banned, and everyone caught eating them will be punished by law.
1021 and 24 Main Street. Target spotted.
Go, go, go! We're on the Matrix! We're on the Matrix!
Gout epidemic hits critical levels following the ban on vegetables. The nation faces a total healthcare collapse.
Well, there's so much to unpack with this one. Okay, so, and again, okay, as far as I'm understanding, the story goes, in a restaurant, someone drops a fork, a waiter slips on a fork, spills food on someone. Someone is like, who threw food at me? Throws a Brussels sprout at someone else. Yeah, accidentally goes into the president's son's mouth.
Senator.
He chokes. Senator, sorry. The senator then is so outraged and traumatized at the funeral, etc., decides to outlaw all vegetables. To have a point where it goes so serious that like people are raiding people's houses, shooting people for eating vegetables, which then makes everyone in the entire country so afraid of eating veg that there's a worldwide gout epidemic. Like, that's a lot of information to get across in 1 minute with only sound. And unbelievably, like, I think I got all of that the first time I heard it. I think I didn't have to re-listen and work it out. Like, there's a few details I've picked out on the second or third listen that I'm like, that's even cool. Like, it sounds like with some of the transitional shots, they have like little butterfly wings, as if a butterfly is kind of like, I don't know, just flying past, or it's a stylistic thing. I like it. But that's a lot of information to get in one submission. So again, hats off. That's very impressive.
Incredibly impressive, yeah. And again, like all the little details, and I love the voice acting, the different musical elements, but overall, like the sound design is so good. It's really, really impressive.
I think again, huge props as well to make it so clear when we have changed location. Like, it's in order to go from what was it, a restaurant to a courthouse to a funeral to like a house raid to a news channel, all within like the last like 30-40 seconds of that. That's a lot of different places to go. And when you have no visual feedback to kind of suggest this for you, like really clever use of like, you know, the gavel when you're in the courthouse immediately, because it's such a recognizable sound, you immediately know where you are. You know, the rain in the funeral, obviously, it's taking all these kind of like, you know, common tropes in film, applying them into this, and it just helps us align where we are, like physically and geographically, which I really appreciate. And it's, I think I would really struggle trying to do this myself if I had this prompt and this idea. So like I'm recognizing, you know, I think great talent here in just making this work, because it's such a complex story you're trying to get across, but it works. And so, yeah, it's really impressive.
Beautifully said. I mean, yeah, exactly that. You've nailed it. I completely agree with that. All right. Lastly, but definitely not least, Terrari. Let's listen again.
I'm sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. I quit.
I have to say, I think with this submission, I do think sound design wise, again, just looking at the production value and the cleanliness and the beefiness of the sound, I think it's the best submission just in terms of sound design. Like, admittedly, it's taking things they know I already love. Like, I love the sound of a pinball machine in the second week, and I love the sound of the instrument with the water in the third week as well. It's so clean. And again, it's something I've really liked about all this Ferrari's entries is they've been neat, they've been tidy, they haven't really overdone it with too much like bells and whistles, like maybe some other teams have. Not that it's a bad thing, but their approach has been very clean, well produced, and they've done it again here. Like, I think sound design wise, I love it. Like such great sounds being used, and it's just so satisfying to listen to, especially the pinball sequences and the synth sequences at the end. Yeah,
totally agree. I also, as Pietro in the chat pointed out, the voice acting of the machine is so good. I love that scream, really funny, and yeah, just really also the flourish at the end with the instrument again is so nice. I love that. I could listen to an entire track of that kind of stuff, and
I genuinely really could. Like, I'm really interested in how exactly they made it. I would love to see a breakdown, or maybe keep your secrets, if it's maybe in development into a real instrument. But I'm very interested.
I agree. I would also love to see a breakdown of that, or get like a VST of that instrument. All right.
Okay. Well, I think I know who I'm going to vote for. So to clarify, in case someone just joined late, myself and Greg can have 1 vote each. If we agree, then they'll win the competition. If we don't agree, then we'll do a public vote. Go on, Greg. Do you want to start us off?
Sure. Okay. So very, very difficult decision. But I think I've also made up my mind. So I think in terms of pure quality, all of them are fantastic. In terms of respecting the prompt, it's Team CRT and Fellowship of the Ring that are the highest rating for me. Then we have the story, which is for me the one that stands out the most is the Fellowship. I really enjoyed that entire arc, and I thought it was kind of subtle and surprising enough. I didn't quite know what would happen next the first time listening, and then it went on a really cool journey. And then in terms of clarity, also just closing my eyes, or having them open, listening first time and understanding what's going on, the Fellowship was the one that was the clearest. So my vote goes to the Fellowship. Really tough in terms of how tight it all is, but I think the Fellowship is just ever so slightly above.
Okay, 1 vote for the Fellowship of the Ring Modulator. So, what do I think? It's been a hell of a journey, folks. The last 4 weeks have been so much fun listening to everybody's entries. And it's all come down to this. And these 3 entries, again, as Greg said, they're all really good. And I really appreciate just how much time and effort has gone into these, especially considering you all hit the max minute length, time limit, which was not necessary, but appreciated. I think with our judging criteria, I think they all win at least one category. Like, I would say creativity-wise, I think CRT with the kind of the literal, but kind of the literal definition of a butterfly effect, which it features butterflies and the butterfly sports stadium. It's such a weird, wacky, creative idea, but it's fun. I really enjoy listening to it. I like the little story they're telling. Sound design wise and production quality wise, Terraria, I think, as I've said, I think they take it for me because I just love I love the sounds that they're using and the amazing whooshes and impacts and synths and just everything. I think it sounds so good. And then likewise for respecting the prompts and for storytelling, I think Fellowship of a Ring Modulator, for reasons you've said, Greg, I think again just edges. So they all win in it, they all win in my category system in a way. But I think putting it all together and picking one winner, I have to say, as you said, I know there's no visual, but if I do close my eyes and imagine the Fellowship of a Ring Modulator, their submission hits everything I wanted. That it's very clear that it's something small happening, which moves on to something slightly bigger happening, to something bigger happening. It's funny. It's so clear what's happening. I feel like I'm being transported to all these different places. And to top it off, the actual sound design, which is what the competition is about, is still incredible. With the whooshes, as I was saying, the detail in the ambiances and the locations, the subtle butterfly wings between as well, etc. A couple of little Easter eggs they snuck in as well. So yeah, Greg, I think I agree, and I think the Fellowship of the Ring Modulator gets my vote.
Congratulations. So the winner of the Sound Design Showdown 2026 is the
Fellowship of the Ring Modulator. So huge congratulations everybody. Just a shout out. So that's Pietro, Vincenzo, and Andrea. Incredible work. We'll be in touch with you soon to DM you your prizes, and huge commiserations to Team CRT and Tiari as well, who I think did exceptionally well to get this far and had a really strong entry. Oh, I feel so sad that it's over, Greg.
Yeah, me too. Wow, what a amazing journey. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for participating. It's been a wild ride, and your submissions have really just blown our socks off. I'm barefoot right now.
Me too. And you know what's funny, right? This is the second 2 out of 2 times the best team name has won the Samsung Showdown. Like, when we first announced the team names, everyone was like, Fellowship of Ring Modulator, that's hilarious. Same last year with team name _final.wav. So maybe that's the secret. Just have a team name which is so good, you just can't look past you. Oh, yeah, that's incredible.
All right.
Folks, thanks so much for tuning in to the Samsung Showdown. That's it for the Samsung Showdown for this year, and probably for the next few years, because it takes so much work to organize. But we have lots more stuff coming up on Airbuggles over the months and years to come. The biggest next thing coming up is Aircon 26, which, if you didn't know, somehow is a free online conference going to be taking place in late May. Everything is going to be hosted on airbuggles.com. There's going to be, well, we're working out right now, but there's going to be around roughly kind of 30 free talks for everyone to attend. We're going to have a load of meetups and networking events. And if you're interested in running your own networking events and meetups after the conference, get in touch, because we're looking for hosts in local cities. And then after that, we'll have more competitions on Airbuggles. We'll have more challenges. You know, it's just a constant rotation of fun challenges and events. And I'm sure there'll be another Samsung Showdown at some point as well.
There will.
But, in the meantime, please do check out airbuggles.com if you haven't already. It's a lovely community, as you've seen, full of amazing sound designers. And so being able to learn and chat to people who can make stuff as good as this is just such a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in as well, and supporting everyone else, even if you haven't entered. It's been really fun to see the chat and to see so many familiar faces and friends amongst you all. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Big love. And we will see you over at Airwiggles. Have a wonderful morning, day, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And until the next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.